In 2011, Rebecca Romney walked onto the set of Pawn Stars with zero television background. Yet she departed as one of the show's most unforgettable experts. Across 19 appearances, she rescued deals, exposed forgeries, and earned the genuine respect of Rick Harrison himself. Then, just as suddenly as she had arrived, she disappeared. For years, fans were left wondering what had truly happened to her. Online videos loudly speculated about criminal activity and off-screen drama, while others whispered about hidden conflicts. However, one crucial detail is rarely mentioned. In 2022, Rick Harrison traveled across the country specifically to see her again. Would he have gone to such trouble if the rumors held any truth? Once the complete story emerged, everything became clear. Born in Idaho in 1985 as Rebecca Angeline, she grew up in a home where books, not television, took center stage. Her scientist parents turned reading into a daily, almost sacred family practice. While other kids absorbed cartoons and games, Rebecca was surrounded by science fiction and grand ideas. Even dinner conversations often turned into lengthy discussions about space travel, time paradoxes, and the moral weight of life-changing decisions. This wasn't a rare occurrence, but an everyday reality. Her parents treated stories like experiments, dissecting plots, analyzing motivations, and questioning characters' choices. In such an environment, a child fascinated by ancient words felt perfectly normal. That intellectual foundation followed her to Brigham Young University in 2003, where she pursued a double major in classical studies and linguistics, adding minors in philosophy and art history. While peers chased safer degrees, she spent long hours immersed in old texts, sometimes translating for 12 hours straight before diving into debates about free will. During one exam, she translated a Greek papyrus from around 300 BC, stunning her professors with work far beyond a beginner's level. By age 22, she spoke English, French, and Japanese, while also reading Latin, Ancient Greek, and Old English, allowing her to read Beowulf in its original form. What seemed purely academic would later prove immensely powerful. After graduating in 2007, she surprised everyone by moving to Japan to teach English for a year, aiming to make her classroom Japanese fluent and natural. She planned to return to the U.S., pursue a master's in Japanese literature, and build on years of language study. But when she came back in fall 2007, reality hit hard. Graduate program deadlines had already passed. Stuck in Las Vegas, where her family had relocated, she faced idle time and bills. That awkward gap could have been a dead end, but instead it became a turning point. Bowman Rare Books, a major firm founded in 1973 with galleries in New York and Philadelphia, was preparing to open a location inside the shops at the Palazzo on the Las Vegas Strip, a $1.9 billion luxury complex. Though Vegas wasn't known for rare books. Needing staff, they posted a listing that Rebecca spotted while waiting for the next school cycle and seeking a paycheck. She applied with no professional book-selling experience, only a degree filled with ancient languages, deep reading habits, and a detail-trained mind. In November 2007, they hired her anyway, before the gallery opened in February 2008. She entered a world unlike any classroom, yet one that spoke her language. She soon learned there is no degree for rare book dealing. It's a trade based on senses and experience, learned only by doing. Bowman took a real gamble, but not a blind one. Rebecca could navigate English, French, and Japanese, plus Latin and Ancient Greek, skills vital in a field where important books span centuries and countries. Still, translating is one thing. Authenticating, pricing, and selling a 400-year-old book for serious money is another. Yet she adapted quickly, already trained to spot patterns, check meanings, and catch lies. What followed was a crash course few ever receive. The Las Vegas Gallery drew 2,500 to 3,000 visitors weekly, massive for any rare bookshop, with prices from $50 to $500,000. Instead of years waiting to touch valuables, she handled major manuscripts daily, learning from clients and inventory. An old apprenticeship-style training, combined with rapid turnover, let her examine multiple copies of the same title quickly, sharpening her eye. She encountered items like Shakespeare folios, The first folio, a 17th century collection, has only about 230 copies worldwide. Many dealers never handle one. In her first 5 years, her gallery sold for different Shakespeare folios. To grasp the scale, a first folio sold at auction in 2020 for $9.9 million. By 2010, just 3 years after starting with no industry background, she was promoted to manager of a Las Vegas gallery at roughly 24 years old. The 2,300 square foot space, open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily in a high-traffic luxury environment, required her to oversee daily operations, direct a team, handle marketing, plan events, and make inventory decisions on items worth hundreds of thousands. She also conducted research, curated displays, and protected the business from costly mistakes. In an industry where people often spend 15 to 20 years climbing to that level, her rise before 25 made her stand out even among peers. Her responsibilities soon stretched further. She helped value and purchase high-end items, ran outreach and exhibitions, guided print and digital marketing, and trained new booksellers, despite being only a few years into the trade. One rare task was buying entire private libraries wholesale, demanding deep knowledge of condition, authenticity, demand, and pricing across eras. By January 2014, she moved to Bowman's Philadelphia headquarters as Senior Projects Director, managing over 24 specialists and booksellers, and working closely with company leadership. Around then, another door opened. In 2011, Rick Harrison of Gold and Silver Pawn Shop personally approached Bowman about appearing on Pawn Stars. The company initially declined, but he persisted until they agreed. It wasn't producers who pulled her in, it was his invitation. Debuting in Season 4 in 2011, she already managed the Bowman Gallery in Las Vegas. On screen, she stood out as the only consistent female expert among mostly male specialists. Calm, direct, and trained to spot tiny details that undo forgeries, she quickly proved herself. In one early appearance, examining Civil War documents including an 1861 Confederate bond, she pointed out a forged signature within minutes. That moment wasn't just TV drama. It was pattern recognition and deep familiarity with language, paper, and history. It saved the shop from paying for a worthless item and told viewers exactly who she was, there to protect value with facts. Rebecca built her name on one surprising reason. She doesn't hype items. She tells the truth, even when it hurts. That's why many sellers entered smiling and left quiet. The most gripping appraisals turned on tiny details, because one small thing can send a price soaring or crashing. Another seller brought a 1484 book, older than Columbus's voyage, and even Rick looked impressed. Rebecca explained in Cunabula as early mass-produced texts, bound in real pigskin with bookworm holes. Those holes barely mattered at that age. The text defended St. Thomas Aquinas, seeming nearly a museum piece. Then she opened it. The fancy artwork wasn't 15th century, but added in the late 19th century, a serious sin in the rare book world. Original art could have meant $6,000 to $7,000. Without it, she placed it at $3,500 to $4,000, matching the seller's auction price 20 years earlier. Full restoration could push it to $14,000, but the shop bought it for $2,500. The damage already done. Another seller had a salesman sample for Mark Twain's Tom Sawyer, a holy grail for collectors. Rebecca noted that the Library of Congress doesn't even have this exact sample. She valued it at $9,000 to $10,000. Rick opened at $5,000, and they settled at $5,500, a cheap price, she admitted, given collector demand. A seller with a supposed Pony Express Bible, found in a $40 estate sale box, wanted $5,000. Rebecca started with proof, real Pony Express Bibles, from a batch of 300 given to writers by co-founder Alexander Majors, have a specific gilt inscription. This Bible lacked it, belonging instead to the Overland Mail Company. Though not what he thought, she still valued it at $6,000 to $7,000, rare American West history with the wrong badge. Rick bought it for $3,000, noting a true Pony Express Bible would double that. Not every shock came from fakes. Sometimes real items fall short. A handwritten FDR letter from July 1922, believed worth $15,000, came with a meaningful backstory. Rebecca compared writing habits, the angle of the F, shape of a D, and confirmed it was genuine. But the content was mundane insurance matter, not politics or major events. A presidential letter tied to history could reach $15,000. This one she valued at $1,500. Rick offered $800, and the seller walked away. Finally, a woman named Beverly told a 1988 story. Hunter S. Thompson, needing a typist, inscribed her copy of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Rebecca confirmed the signature by distinctive habits, his H looking like a W, with a loop, frequent initials. The paperback alone was worth $5. The value was in the story. She placed it at $400 to $500. Rick bought it for $350, below Beverly's $800 hope. These appraisals explain her standout status, but they hide a bigger shift. In early 2014, she left Las Vegas for a senior role at Bowman's Philadelphia headquarters, a real promotion, placing her under the owner as a top firm executive. Her work spanned research, acquisitions, web development, marketing, inventory, customer service, cataloging, sales, catalog production, PR, and managing over 24 staff. With that workload, the mystery of her disappearance fades. Pawn Stars stayed in Vegas while her life moved cross-country. A cross-country flight isn't a quick errand, and such a role can't pause for cameos. Fans love drama, so rumors of firing or conflict spread, but the truth is calmer. She moved farther away, her career grew heavier, and appearances naturally slowed. The show later treated her warmly. In late 2022, on Pawn Stars Do America in Washington, D.C., Rick and Corey came to her shop, not the reverse. You don't chase someone you've cut ties with. In 2016, she married J.P. Romney, a writer and researcher. They co-wrote Printer's Error 2017, digging through centuries of book history for strange, funny, unbelievable stories, showing she wasn't cashing in on TV fame, but building a literary voice. Her caution on the show never felt cold, it felt necessary, because forgers have fooled even scholars. After Bowman, she joined Honey and Wax Booksellers in Brooklyn, a shop focused on first editions and personal libraries. Noticing women hesitated to call themselves collectors, she and a colleague created the Honey and Wax Book Collecting Prize in 2017, offering a cash award for young women collectors. Dozens applied the first year. In 2019, she co-founded Type Punch Matrix in Washington, D.C., the name referencing physical printing tools. By 2020, they opened a downtown gallery, gaining a reputation for bold material in a conservative field. Despite online videos screaming crime and secret drama, some later labeled satire, her public career shows a clean timeline of work, moves, and projects. She started young in rare books, rose fast, stepped into leadership, built a public voice through writing, and helped create institutions that changed the field. The cameras gave her reach, but the books gave her weight. She never needed the show to survive. She could step away, return when it fit, and keep moving forward without explanation.